So we're going to be talking today about what do painful periods, breast tenderness, and fatigue and irritability mean before your period. So those of you that are joining, I would love to hear where you're joining us from, and please let me know if you have these symptoms as well. Because that really helps me to know just kind of how to navigate you through this training. So, welcome. My name is Andrea Jones. I'm a registered nurse, functional hormone coach. What that means is that I have taken my nursing degree, gotten a whole bunch of advanced certifications, trainings, education, and research. Focusing specifically on the area of women's hormones. So I work with women all over the world. We have clients in Australia. We've served women in Austria, Germany, Canada, you name it, we have probably been there, and using a very systematic approach to balancing and healing hormones. So I love getting to use my research and my background in education to really help women feel their best. So if you're new here and you are not familiar with my face, this is me, this is who I am. Welcome from Poland. Awesome. We're so glad to have you on here today. Okay, so we're going to be talking about what painful periods, breast tenderness, and fatigue mean before your cycle. So, how many of you have experienced any of those symptoms? Painful periods, breast tenderness, more fatigue leading up to your menstrual cycle? I'm curious if that's you. Maybe you've been told that it's just normal, it's just something that you have to tolerate or deal with. Maybe you've been told that, you just need to get on hormone replacement therapy or birth control to deal with it. Welcome, Jacinta. Let's see. Welcome. So glad you're here. Okay. Yep. And how many days before your cycle would you say that you're experiencing those symptoms? Because that does help us as well to kind of figure out what's going on in the body and where the hangups might be. Usually what happens is, a woman might be, experiencing, 3 to 4 days before their period, they're having mood swings, breast tenderness, fatigue. And then as time goes on, because those root causes haven't actually been dealt with, the symptoms get worse and worse over time. And we start to see that spill over into the entire month, okay? So painful periods, breast tenderness, and fatigue, they don't exist on their own. And they are very common indicators of estrogen dominance. So when estrogen becomes too high in the bloodstream, that's an indicator. Again, the estrogen is not the problem. What that indicates is that the body is actually not clearing estrogen out through the liver into the gut and out the body properly. So that estrogen begins to build up in the bloodstream, and it can create the feelings of breast tenderness, painful, heavy periods, and that really low energy, because again, our liver is actually responsible for estrogen metabolism. It's responsible for vitamin synthesis. It's responsible for so many different things in the body, and our hormones are actually like our fifth vital sign. So they are an indicator, absolutely an indicator of how our overall health is actually doing when it comes to hormones. So if you're having those three symptoms in particular, more than likely you actually have some other symptoms in the liver category that maybe you're just not paying attention to because nobody's taught you to pay attention to them. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So when estrogen becomes high, again, it can throw off our cycle, but more than likely it's going to show up in these bigger symptoms, right? It's liver congestion, essentially, for lack of a better way of explaining it. Now, if these symptoms continue, what's going to happen is it's going to cause your progesterone to go lower, right? Because your estrogen and your progesterone are seesaw hormones. If estrogen's high, progesterone's going to be trapped down here somewhere. And when progesterone goes low, we're going to start to see symptoms of moodiness, irritability, anxiety, sleep issues before your cycle, spotting, irregular periods, etc. But they typically tend to hang out in the mood category. So this is why it's really, really important, if you're having these symptoms, that you're working with somebody who is addressing the root causes with you and for you, so that you're not trying to figure it all out on your own, and can actually get you some of the relief that you need. So this is one of the things that we address, and please feel free to put any questions you have in the chat if you have specific questions about your symptoms. But is this making sense so far to you? That's what I want to know. It's not even the high estrogen that's really the problem. That's definitely not the root cause issue. The root cause issue is really that the liver isn't metabolizing your hormones appropriately, and that's leading to all of these other issues within the body. Does that make sense to everybody so far? You can give me a thumbs up in the chat if you'd like to, or drop a question like a whole week or more before or after my cycle also. Yes, totally. Totally get that. Okay, I'm just checking for comments here. And so I think it's really important when we're talking about this that we're also kind of addressing the elephant in the room, which is that the symptoms themselves aren't really the motivator for us to move forward, right? It's not the symptoms, right? It's how it's actually impacting our day-to-day life. So how is that, when you're having breast tenderness, when you're having fatigue, when you're having painful periods or heavy cycles, how is that impacting your day-to-day life? Is that impacting your work? Is it impacting your marriage relationships? I know for the majority of women that I talk to, a lot of these symptoms hit the most in the home and the work environment. And that kind of becomes intolerable, right? Because we don't want our family life to be impacted by this. We don't want our marriage relationship, our relationship with our partners to be impacted by this. So I would love to hear in the comments, what is impacting you the most? Where are these symptoms really hitting you the most? Okay. Home life. Okay. I was told that I will go through pregnancy. The symptoms will, when I go through pregnancy, the symptoms will disappear. That is true. Sometimes pregnancy does eliminate those symptoms. However, they usually come back right after you have the baby. So, because the liver isn't really in detoxification mode, during pregnancy, but as soon as you get through that pregnancy, then your body's going to go back into needing your liver to be functioning properly in order to make those changes. So in order to get your hormones back online. So what we want to do to resolve this is really focus on supporting the liver. And how we do that is, this is not, doing a crazy liver cleanse. This is not in, drinking lemonade with cayenne pepper. It's nothing like that. It's really just learning what foods to be eating to support your liver, what specific habits you need to be utilizing to support your liver, because supporting the liver is something you need to be doing on a daily basis. If you are a female, your liver needs to be functioning optimally every single day. And so doing a cleanse twice a year isn't going to cut it, right? We need to know what foods we should be eating on a daily basis. And my personal perspective, and after working with hundreds of women all over the world, doing a strict diet cleanse, eliminating a bunch of foods that aren't helpful for you, all of that is not sustainable long term. What we actually need is just really 3 simple things to support the liver for the long term, so that you can get that estrogen under control, get rid of the painful periods, breast tenderness, and fatigue. So if that's something that you feel would be beneficial for you, I wanted to let you know that the Love Your Liver training is available for you. It's just $27, and I actually walk you through the exact protocol that I use to balance out the liver. So it includes the video trainings, the worksheets, etc. All of that is laid out for you. And in addition to that, you get 3 weeks of access to group coaching. So again, that's just $27. If you are ready to kick off this summer, getting your liver supported with, just everything that you have at home, essentially, there's not really anything else additional you need to do. It's just all laid out for you one step at a time with the video trainings included. Go ahead and comment liver, and I will make sure to get the link and the registration over to you. Please feel free to post any questions or comments, and I'd be more than happy to assist you and share with you anything that you need to know. Thank you so much for watching.